You nailed down the interview, you got the call back, the job is yours. Now what do? There's some key things that you need to do to make sure that you're not only striving in this job, that you're successful in this job for years to come. Let's start with the 8 things that you must do. Number 1, you need to listen and watch. You know the old saying, you have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. You need to listen and watch and learn as much as you can. You need to actually be a sponge. You need to figure out how they do business, what's the rhythm, what's the timing, what's the overall environment. So when you first get there, don't try to be the leader. Just try to understand what's happening, how to get things done so you can fit in gracefully. Number 2, get engaged. Volunteer, ask questions, be part of the team. So you need to make sure that the people around you feel that you're actively trying to learn, you're actively trying to engage, because they're trying to figure out what you bring to the table. And you want to demonstrate what you bring to the table, but you need to actively get engaged. Just don't sit back and relax. Slowly start to engage so people know who you are. Number 3, always be polite. Okay, say thank you, be courteous. If you need to ask questions, don't be rude, be very, very polite. An ounce of courteous will go a long way. So just make sure you're always nice and polite and don't come off very, very aggressive. Number 4, be transparent. Okay, if you need help, if you have some ideas, if you have some thoughts, let everybody know where you're coming from. Just don't lace up on the table, because someone might say, where's this guy, where's this lady coming out with this stuff from? Be transparent, make sure they understand. So if you have to ask a question, don't just ask a blatant question. Put some context around it so everybody can understand exactly what you're trying to do. And they will be more open to help you and engaging in your conversation and engaging in the things that you're trying to resolve. Number 5, study. Do your homework. Make sure if you have a presentation to give or you go into a meeting, make sure you read your notes, you catch up on or what's happening. Make sure if there's 10 files of information that supporting this activity, make sure you go through and review those things to make sure you are well prepared as possible before you go into the meeting. This avoids you from asking questions that are unneeded, or even better, prepares you to ask the correct question to make sure everyone knows that you're engaged. Number 6, and this is a really important one, be ready to accept some constructive criticism. You won't have all the answers, you won't know how to do everything. Somebody might pull you on the side and give you some pointers. Don't get your feelings hurt. Be a sponge, just accept it all, understand what you're trying to do, that you don't know everything, and look, just be a part of the team. Just accept constructive criticism. Don't worry about it. It's part of the game. Number 7, be proactive, be productive, be efficient. Make sure you're on time. Make sure you're ready to go. Make sure you're prepared. And if you have a task that needs to be done, try to do it early. Try to send it to your boss prior to the deadline so you can get some feedback, or say, hey, look, I'm going to do this, and if I have some questions, I might come to you, and you get halfway through it, you might reach out and say, hey guys, I haven't done this before, give me some feedback, give me some thoughts, because I don't want to wait till the last minute and get it wrong. So make sure you ask for that constructive feedback as you go. And being productive and being proactive goes a long way into you being accepted within the team. And number 8, this is a really important one. Find out who's making all the noise, chit-chatting, unproductive, you know that person. It's always a couple people or one person in every organization that's not really pulling their weight, and you can pick those people out right from the very beginning. Understand what they do so you can understand what not to do. It's always good to find someone who's doing something great, who's making moves, that's very sharp, that's on time, that's doing everything right, maybe has the boss's ear, but you also need to understand the people there that aren't pulling their weight, and so you could try to avoid being cast with those people if you can. Okay, so those are the 8 things that you should do. Let's go over the 9 things that you should absolutely avoid doing. Number 1, never showboat. Don't go in and try to make a big name for yourself, make a big splash in front of others. If you do something correct, just accept it, and if someone says, hey, very good job, just accept it, be humble. Again, you're trying to fit into a team. You're not trying to make all types of noises. Just go ahead and be very, very humble. So never showboat, especially in front of the team. Number 2, very important. Don't keep referring to your old company. I hear a lot of people say, hey, we should do this at my last company. You should do that at this other company. They should do this better. They should do it wrong. If they were so great, why did you leave? So don't always try to reference your old company. Now, if you worked on a piece of software or something like that, that you believe that might have some benefit to your new company, you might put it on the table and say, hey, look, I'm used to working with this software or this program, et cetera, that might be beneficiary. But other than that, just try to leave your old company where they were and just move on with your life. Number 3, very, very important, everyone, protect your reputation. Please protect your reputation. Don't overshare with your new colleagues, okay? Put a filter in your brain that says, hey, this is personal and this is professional. Don't share your night out with your friends. Don't share how much you had to drink. Don't share about how much money you make or your lavish vacation or the cars you drive. Keep those things to yourself. More importantly, don't add all of your colleagues to your Facebook account. Keep everything as separate as possible. You can be friendly, but you don't need to have friends, okay? You're not there to make friends. You're there to get along. You're there to foster relationships. Key thing, guys, relationships, not friendships. Friendships outside of work, relationships inside work, okay? Number 5, health issues. Don't start talking about your pain in your leg or issues with your family or drama. Keep everything separate. Don't bring up those issues. They're just a bad thing to bring up, especially when you're just starting a new job. Next one is politics and religion. Everybody knows you shouldn't discuss these things because you never know how somebody's going to feel about the subject that you bring up. They might smile on your face, but they might write it down or quoterize it in their head somewhere and say, hey, look, I don't like this person because they have a certain position. Keep your religion, keep your politics outside the workplace. Next one, don't discuss your career ambitions. Keep that off the table also. Don't tell everybody I want to be CEO, I want to take the manager's job, I wanted to be the next X, Y, and Z. Keep those to yourself. You can do your strategies outside of work, and you can think you might want to get this job or you can do this job, but the worst thing you can do is go in and say, in 6 months, I'm going to have this job, I'm going to have that job. In 1 year, I'm going to be CEO. You will isolate yourself from most of the team if you say that right off the bat. Don't do that. Number 8, don't gossip. Don't get caught up in that he say, she say stuff. Stay away from it. Please stay away from it. If somebody is gossiping and you sit down and you listen and you start laughing, you're going to be sucked right into it. And guess what? When you're not there, they're gossiping about you. Keep it professional. When you start hearing a lot of chit chat, just move on. Go find something productive to do. Just try to stay out of it. Stay out of it as much as you can. And the last one, don't join any forces. Don't join any alliances. Don't try to get caught up in group A against group B. And look, you might be the finance team is against the technical team, and the finance says it must be done this way, and the technical team is done that way. You don't want to join any alliances. You don't want to join any forces. You just want to stay as neutral as possible. You don't know who's right, who's wrong. Your position is you're just trying to fit in. You're trying to understand the technical aspect of the job. You're trying to fit in socially. It's all you need to do. Don't worry about aligning yourself with Group A or Group B. So those are the key things that I want to talk about. Remember the old saying from a long time ago, and the old saying used to be, I know you should say it in my family, you can pick your friends but not your family. Well, on the job, you can pick the job but not your coworkers. Okay? So whoever is on the job when you're there, you have to deal with them. You have to find out how to deal with them. Because there's always one person on every job that you can't get along with for whatever reason. But that person isn't going anywhere, you aren't going anywhere, so you have to figure out a way to get along. You have to. Because in most jobs, your task is depending on someone completing another task, kind of like the domino effect. Everybody's got a job to do, and at the end of the day, we'll almost work together. That's the key thing. So the key thing that you want to try to do is understand who you're working with, try to be as neutral as possible, try not to get engaged in anything personal, and just learn the technical side of the job, because obviously there's some type of probationary period with you on the job. You want to get through that period, but not only do you want to get through that period, you want to excel on the job, and you want to be felt that you're a productive, hardworking team member. Now you should know what to do and what not to do when you first get on the job. By keeping these tips in mind, you will maximize your opportunities to excel and be in this job for a long period of time. If you need any help in your career and you're free to set aside some time, I would like to have a free session with you to talk about your career goals and ambitions. please click the link below and you will go right to my website. And there's very straightforward. You can book an hour with me and I would love to spend some time with you. During the call, we can create a personal roadmap for you that will ensure that you meet and exceed your business goals. If any of these tips were valuable to you, please share them with your friends and neighbors. And please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button if you found this interesting. If you click on the screen, you can go to one of my previous videos. I just did a video on how to negotiate a higher salary. That's very, very good.